All now, bro.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Let's Talk Java. I am your host, Laarni Mulvey, the Power Lady, and I have my co-host from way back when, who is coming to be a returning guest for me here on Let's Talk Java. I have the awesome Chad Smith with me, and we are catching up. Well, you guys already caught us laughing and giggling right when we hit record because that's what Chad and I do. In the beginning, that's all we always like laugh and giggle, and they were like, okay, serious. But anyway.
We're trying to get serious, but here I'm busting out the old Anna Bronca from Increment, trying to get our tongues ready, prepping up for this show. And it just kind of rolled into, she's like, out now, ready to record. I'm like, what?
Well, you guys know that Chad was my co-host or was part of this show the beginning of this year. And with Chad doing so many other amazing things in his life, he decided, to be a guest DJ, a guest host with me to come back on the show because, we got lots of stuff going on and we are playing catch up. It's been what did we just say, Chad? It's been like June. At mid-June, I want to say we recorded and said that you were doing your thing and I'm doing my thing and I'm going to take the show and whatever. So it's been a long time. So what's up with you? What's going on?
Well, and I'm going to clarify about everyone, guys. We're all on great terms. So it's just all of us have a big trunk full of stuff that we're trying to accomplish here by the end of the year. So since June, obviously, and I don't know if you guys, watch the live Let's Talk Java at the place I'm currently at right now because we have foam back walls. So Laarni knows exactly where I'm plugging. I'm going to plug the Venture Project, guys. If you're in Oshkosh, go to Venture Project. We have a podcast studio, which I'm currently in, and those are real foam walls. And I'm recording on a desk here in here. But since June, I'm one of those guys that jumped on a rocket and tried to shoot up into the stars, to be honest. Softball got done and work increased, my own personal life increased, my own businesses increased. So it's when you're in, and I'm explaining to this way, guys, especially because I ran this morning in the rain, but it's like I'm in the process, the dirty work, the gnarly, all the stuff that you need to do to develop a business. So like the planning, the bank work, the book work, all the, I'm not going to swear on here, but the crap that you need to do behind the scenes. So like the last 2-3 months, it's been development of actually a couple outlets, I was going to say, that kind of got dropped on my lap. Plus, we're going to plug this too. It's a 4-letter word. I got called out by, and I'm on camera here, so I'm on the left-hand side of my computer, but that one right there said I needed to write a book. And just let you guys know, that book is 3/4 of the way done. We are at finishing stages of my co-authors that are in it. So we're going to be rolling that one in. Just like how I am, I don't do one thing, I do multiple things. So like there's going to be a book coming out in June, hopefully, finances. That is pretty much, thank God for Otter. If you guys haven't do Otter AI before, that transcribes your podcast and stuff, but this one's going to be a celebration of getting fallen on your back, kind of putting boxing gloves back on, jumping back up, and kind of giving a brief history of stories of what people went through to get to where they're at right now. So this is going to be a very good inspirational book, perfect for the person that's producing it. And she already knows we have a personal relationship with the person that's producing it. So that one's perfect for that niche that person's in. I don't even want to explain on how well that person's in that avenue. The next one's going to be more of the business book. So, and we're going to give a little secrets here. And she's an author, probably writing another one too, aren't you? Or are you going to?
I am on the verge of my children's book that I'm researching. So that's something I've never done before. But I mean, I'm at that point where I'm like, I want to write a children's book. So that's my next project.
So I was going to say, when we're in this avenue, it's just opportunities come up and the directions come up, and all of a sudden you just start unfolding where your passions and blends. And to be honest, like the last 2-3 months, I'm kind of on camera with the crossbar here, so I'm going to get real animated here without messing the mic up. But you have me, who's my personality and all that stuff, and then you have what I love, and all of a sudden they just go like that.
Together. Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're like, why am I sleeping 3 hours a night? And you wake up and you smile the next day and you keep going. But yeah, no, I have the one book coming out. There's a few other ones behind the scenes that I think I was part of. I'm not worried about the timetables on that stuff. I'll kind of let those projects unravel if I'm still part of them or not. That's just nature of how this industry is.
Yep.
And they're both very phenomenal people. So if I have an opportunity to be it, I'm perfectly fine with that. But there's two other things. And one of them, she's very, very happy about me saying. So I am part of Mike's Inner Circle, and I'm gonna plug that one right now. It is behind the scenes, a large group of nationwide entrepreneurs. Some that are tied into like, the owners of In-N-Out Burger and stuff. And I'm a little more patriotic the more older I'm getting, and I'm not going to get too in depth here on politics, but it's a big circle of rebels that kind of want to go against the grain and just kind of bring people up, help build entrepreneurs and connect people. And it's just a large networking group. And that opportunity when I joined it was, it went to, hey guys, you want to launch this, to, hey, not you're going to do this. I'm networked into a guy that is helping me launch my own supplement business.
Which is cool. I want you to talk about that in a little more detail.
Yeah, we're going to do that after this next two things here. So it's Battle Warrior Brands, guys. And the ones that kind of, there's this theme here with my name. So it's the Battle Warrior. Reason why is Chad in English terms means battle or warrior. So that's just me. It's my own personal stuff. So I ended up being, at the time, one of the first few in the group that jumped on the bandwagon. Not bandwagon, guys, but like I ended up being from someone that was very interested, which I love working out. So like this stuff comes very natural to me, and ended up being, I don't want to air quote the guinea pig, but I'm just going to be more of like the first leader coming out of the group. Yes. The first leader or the tester of the group that I know of right now. I mean, it could change lately, but kind of learning through the systems, relabeling and stuff. So yeah, guys, I have my own workout line coming out with protein, pre-workouts. I don't know the whole allotment of it, but the 3-4 key things that I love. So like the greens, the reds, the proteins, the pre-workouts, post-workouts, all that stuff's going to be part of it. This is one of the first few things where I really don't know half the stuff he carries, to be honest, or like what my name's going to be on it. Yeah. Just because I'm not so concerned about like the 12 things that we have with my label on it. I'm concerned about the 3-4 things I do. So it's, I know every day I wake up, I have a protein shake. Every day I do pre-workout, every day, I do add in some deer antler velvet to kind of help with my legs when I run. Just because, wink, wink, it helps. I'm 35, guys. My legs are telling me I'm 40. But what it is now is I'm so passionate about first and foremost, I'm passionate about people being healthy. I don't care if you're, 5 foot, 6 feet, whatever. I don't care. It's what I'm trying to do is I want to present people to say, okay, hey, I went through a lot of garbage. I completely flipped my life around. This is what I did. And this is what people I know did. And instead of, and I might poke the bear a little bit how I word this, but I'm a black and white straight shooter guy. So like I'm unfiltered at times, but like I want to say, first and foremost, when you look at a lot of these top successful people, it's like, I want to do the work first and then help people. Yeah. And for me, like working out, running, almost doing like that 75 hard to a point. I'm pretty much doing it now. I'm not signed up for it, but run on my off days, work out on my even days, and just focus, the thing that the light's shining on right now, very, very bright, but focus on your noggin first and, spiritually, physically, whatever. So like there's a theme of my life coming out where it's called Rev Up Your Life, because we go through a cloud like this and we try to tweak and change the gas that we're putting in ourselves. And yes, it's going to be car terms, guys. I'm a very gear nut. I love hype, horsepower and stuff. So it's more about, okay, like bringing good gas in your brain and then increasing your RPM. So it's like in a car, you put great gas in, it's going to give you better RPMs and you're going to go faster. So it's relaying that stuff. That's where the second book's going to get relayed through. But yeah, so like I'm going to push the workout stuff, but it's going to be kind of a different approach versus like the traditional third one that I'm doing. So like what I'm doing here in town is going to be more print in, embroidery, DTG stuff. So like direct print garment ship type stuff. So like I'm gonna have a t-shirt printer in, and I'm gonna have a embroidery printer in. Any screen printing stuff I'm gonna get done third party. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be that middleman that's gonna provide an outlet for people bringing product to market. So like instead of me, how I did is I have my own store, but it's not my priority. To be 100% honest, that's why you guys aren't seeing much. Is I want to be that person to say, hey, I can print it, I can show people your art, and we can promote it. And with being that middleman, no matter what, like you're helping, you're serving people, bring or even part, you're in that kind of how we are here, that incubating center. So like people come to you with an idea and you bring it forward, and then they go out and sell it. So I don't know why. Maybe it's just the artistic side of me, but it's like I was telling before recording, I think one's going to go naturally faster than the other. But most importantly, my mind's off of getting out of work because I'm working 6 days a week on top of this stuff. And no, y'all, she already knows I'm single. I have zero time for it, guys. I wake up, I work, I come here, do my own business stuff, I go to bed. So yes, I'm still single because I have zero time.
Yeah, it's like we have so many things going on. Like I even though I think about all the projects that I have coming up, I have to prioritize the ones that I want to do or that are calling me. I don't know if you get that sometimes, but it's like the ones that call me forward louder is the ones I do like easier, or they're the harder ones, but they're the ones that I have more focus on for some reason. So do you get that? Like sometimes with all your projects going on, do you get like that? Okay, what's calling me forward? What is the universe? What is God telling me? Like, okay, you're going to do this first.
Well, so I have a perfect example of that because a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, I know I launched this at the time in the not negotiate, like there was no negotiations with that stuff, but like behind the scenes work of getting my supplement stuff situated. And I'm like, okay, I have zero. It's like, I know I want to do something down the road, but it's like, okay, this week and we're going to back up a little bit. It's like, I wanted to shut my store down for the clothing. The next day I got an email for an e-commerce event up in Minneapolis. She knows the story already because I was with someone here and magically called in sick and I attended it. So I'm like, okay, so obviously I know that needs to still be open, something e-commerce wise. Still needs to be open because that's when it naturally occurs like that, guys, that means you're called to do that. Went through, kind of built it up, and I'm like, I got so much stuff on my plate, I have no time for this t-shirt stuff. Well, I went, where did I go?
You went to Minneapolis and then you came back, went on vacation.
I went somewhere and they were talking about t-shirts and I'm like, all right, cool. And then I went to church and they're like, hey, brand new t-shirts. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, okay, so that's 2 things of t-shirts lining up. The week after I went in and they're like, hey guys, thank you for the launch. We're out of t-shirts. We have to wait a month to get new ones. I'm like I'm seriously sitting there. I'm like, a month? I'm like, I can get them in a week. So I walked up to the guy. I'm like, bro, where are you getting them out of? He's like, I have no clue. I just sit here and hand them out. I'm like, what? And at that moment, I'm like, okay, yeah, this has to come in.
There's your new thing. And it's funny how it just things get dropped in your lap I don't know. I don't want to say it's accidentally. It's just, it's like you get called to do these things, and um
It's a natural flow.
yes, that's how I feel. Like if like sometimes like these projects I have, I'm like if my heart is not in it at that time, I put it on the back burner. See, I don't know. I don't know if you do that. I just feel like sometimes like I have all these and ideas and everything, but are they the right ideas at the time? I'll
Yeah.
file them and file them, write them down and whatever, because there's just too many things to think about, but am I doing it the right things at the right time for me at that moment, and I always have to have my mind and my heart into it.
Well, in the here's the other cool thing that a lot of people don't know here, that don't know some of the owners here behind the scenes, but like, actually there's one owner, but like the one that helps with us, so like a guy here actually worked for that stuff for 8 years. He's like, he goes, obviously I know I'm gonna have to pay for services and stuff. I get that you, here's the number one rule, guys, in business: you have to pay to play. That just,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to put something
Yeah.
in, you have to pay for something, and in return you help everyone out. That's business. um when it comes to me bringing that idea up, his eyes kind of glance. He's like, hey, wait a minute. He's like, I was in this for 8 years. He's like, I know this industry and I know connections. I'm like, huh. So like I went on that inner circle call the week later, and the same guy went, hey, we have 4 people here with apparel lines. He's like, we rotate back and forth with everyone. He's like, when you get up and running, we're going to help you out. Not we're going to help you out, but like we're going to potentially put orders through just to make sure you're, up to what we need to do. And then down the road, you're part of our circle. So obviously we want to do business with everyone. So that's just a networking rule. And I'm just like, let's get this in famous words of the one that owns this place. It's like, let's go, let's go. So it's naturally just like the supplement stuff. I had the rough idea and I sent it to, a family member. I'm like, hey, what about this? And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, and now she's like, hey, I'm waiting for you to get this going because I need to replenish my own stuff. And I'm like, it's coming, it's coming. And so what we're trying to do behind the scenes is, she works with pilots, and obviously she's out of Houston, and you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we're trying to figure out ways to get at least her end, because like I give her the credit for 100% of this, but it's like, for me, my thing's hunting and fishing. So like a lot of guys on the tournament trails are not out of shape, but mentally they're not the best competitor they can be. So I'm like, if I can provide some sort of an outlet, this is a friend of mine with myself working with this idea, but like provide an outlet to get them healthier. That means competition's gonna be a lot better, which means everyone's clear on the water, and the longevity of doing this, they're gonna have a longer career. And so I brought this idea to her about this, and she's like, well, what about pilots? She's like, pilots are in the air for 8 to 12 hours. They have to grab a Snickers. They have to do something. She's like, I'd rather have something a little bit healthier up there, so they're clear, and our customers that they're flying are going to their place back and forth, and the longevity of the pilot's a lot better. So it's more about, like, for me, it's not about pumping iron, and you know what it is. Some of those supplement companies are dudes just flexing and they're in shape with zero body fat. I'm not pushing that, guys. It's about, first and foremost, making sure your head's the best it can be. And obviously, yeah, you're happy, so you're going to push your body. That's just the natural thing of it. So for me, I'm not going to have dudes that are all jacked up, girls or whatever. Like, if they want to join, I'm perfectly fine with that. The door's open, but I want to just promote, take the normal, not say normal crowd, but like the people that the change you're going to see are the ones that kind of do it part-time. Versus the ones that, like us, your husband, whoever, where we're locked in. We know exactly what we need to do to get it done. Like, to me, it's like, I know what fitness did for me. I know what fitness did for you guys. And I'm perfectly happy giving the door to everyone that wants to join. So it's, I don't know, it's really weird, because when it, like we were talking about natural flow, all of a sudden it just, like, it's just stuff starts flowing in that just is weird, and you're called to do it.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because I feel like that's exactly like when people like ask about, oh, what, like somebody's asked me, I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they're like, what happened to that guy that you were on the show with? I'm like, he's doing his own thing. oh, he is? I'm like, yeah, but it's not like he's not coming back. We just got to find the time to get together and come back and give an update, which is like the perfect timing because it's like we have so many things going on and now we're planning for 2022. I don't know about you, but I have like so many other things going on in 2022 as well. Like
So
I don't know what you have going on, which I'm going to ask you what you have going on in 2022. I know January is a big month for you.
yeah, so so January 1st, guys, a lot of the stuff just for taxes because I'm very lazy and I don't want to overlap taxes on my taxes this year. Um, that's 100% honest, but like January 1st, guys, we are launching the Bad Order brand stuff, supplements. So like physically, that's a public response. If you need it, just talk to me already. I will green light to the owner, but that's when, on paper that starts. So that's gonna be all your full workout stuff. I don't know if we're gonna do a YouTube show when it comes to that stuff with guys talking about, mental mindsets, whatever. Um, January, probably mid-January is when the book's gonna come out. So that's gonna be, I think, 6 authors right now. I think it was like you were, like you started with a certain number and then final numbers
Little
is.
down, yeah.
Yep. So that's going to be coming mid-January, and that, at least right now, I don't know if the producer is going to tweak the title, but it's called Awakening the Warrior from Within.
Cool.
And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a warrior theme. I kind of like it. Thank God for Canva. And so that's going to be coming mid-January. The grant stuff and all the stuff I'm working with it, it's going to be B2B brands, because I'm going to highlight the B2B connection with the t-shirt print and all that stuff. My game plan is January 1st, but I'm dealing with a lot of stuff behind the scenes of paperwork and stuff. So I'm still going to attempt for that. I don't know what's going to happen because I'm going to be doing grant work and stuff, or attempting to get grant work for that. So the delay with that would be grant related delay.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm attempting, or I'm gonna throw the ball at the wall, try to get that stuff up and running by January. And who knows, I might be on stage or not next year. We will see. That's kind of like that fourth thing that we just add in when we get time.
I know, right? It's like I feel you. I feel you. So what do you have? What?
Okay, we got to plug that stuff because we have Strong and Mighty 3 coming up.
The Strength Summit. I mean, the Standing and Strength Summit.
She even forgot about her own summit.
Okay. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I was like, okay. So I have my summit coming up, which may change into just like something small because I have something big planned for the fourth one. So I may be pivoting it, or I may be just rescheduling it to next year because it's the 50-year anniversary of Title IX, of where women are able to play sports, and there should be no
that's gonna fit perfect into that.
So, but here's my other thing, which I did tell you about, but surprise, I am doing something called the Strength Table, where I'm calling in 6 people who want to talk about their strength and how it came up to like what it is, and define your own strength and things like that. So you may be a guest on that.
Okay. And I'm sure there's someone behind the scenes too that we need to connect with, or we're trying to attempt to connect with. Would be perfect for that one too. We'll just say it that way.
Maybe, and I'm going to talk to her about it. But yes, because I have like an idea of people talking about like their sobriety and how they came up to, finding themselves and getting into the move, and even talking about the relapses and things like that, because I think that's part of the journey. So that's what I'm calling the Strength Table. And I'm only going to talk to maybe like 5 or 6 people, just like a Zoom like this, and it's going to be like a close-knit conversation. So that's in the production for me. But the Standing and Strength Summit is still happening, but this one may be postponed for the big one.
I'm in the dugout, guys. We'll just word it that way. I know I'm in the lineup somewhere, and not even a cocky thing. It's just we have a great relationship, so somewhere I'll help out. That's just the way I'm gonna say it. Whatever it is, wherever I need to be, just let me know.
I'm just like, okay. I mean, I have my go-tos.
Yeah,
Chad
yeah.
is one of my go-tos.
I'm in that 45 person MLB lineup. So she just calls me when she needs something done. I'm on the lineup, guys. I'm in the major league. It's just whatever
Exactly.
my role is at the time, we'll figure it out.
But you guys, this is the relationship Chad and I have. You know, everyone wonders, oh, what happened between you and Chad? I'm like, nothing.
No, we're all good. Oh, no, we did add in 2 blown tires though.
2 blown tires.
Because the day we are supposed to launch Let's Talk Java live here at the Venture Project, you had a blown tire. I had a blown tire. Totally forgot about that one.
Wow. Okay, let's go back to how we really started this stinking show.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It started off as a joke between you and I.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're like, hey, you like coffee, I like coffee. Let's do.
And there's a third person that's like, hey, why don't you guys just shut up and just make a show?
Yes. And then the fourth person was like, we need to talk about this show.
Exactly.
Which she hasn't been on the show yet either, but that's okay. She's mega busy. But I just think it's funny that we started this show in January. Well, actually in like November of last year. It was in conversation in our Facebook, messengers and stuff like that. And we actually recorded our first pilot show and it was terrible. We were like, what do we talk about? How do we talk about this? And it's just kind of snowballed into episodes. And then all of a sudden now it's still around, but it's me and you're doing your thing, but you come back. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's going to be almost a year that we start talking about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a natural progression, but yet it's also a rebrand because and it's I want to say it kind of was a theme of me this year, just because you what happens, guys, you do these projects and they just come to life and all of a sudden it just becomes an animal of its own. And it's just a tree that just goes like that. Not to sound like a kid there, how I worded it that way, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, this branch needs a little more focus and this branch needs a little more focus. And it is what it is, guys. And then it's not like there's no hard feelings or nothing. Like we all get along great, especially everyone that's in that first initial circle. So we all still joke along on Facebook. We're still fine. I did attempt to do this live, but obviously I didn't quite make it to Chicago. So it's all
right. It's cold here.
We're fine. I just ran this morning 4 miles in downpouring rain, so we're all good. And that one was involved with potentially a different guest too. So like it's just trying to get everyone on the same page. And what it is, guys, is she does this full time. I'm not quite there yet. So like I have just amount of calendar, just like I call it a binder of time. All of a sudden I just go, okay, this worked.
Yeah.
And you're like stuck with one page left of like, crap, I got to do all this on one page. So it's, I'm in this natural drive groove. It's a very good momentum. I don't want to say push. I don't know. It's tough to explain. I'm in the zone.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're like focused. You're like in that, driven direction where you're like, okay, let's just go, but you're not going fast. You're just like, bzz, you know what I'm saying? You're on cruise, but like in a direction.
Yeah. Like I think my fast is going to kick in January. Like once the big, so like what happens with a lot of this stuff, and your listeners will probably contest to this too. So it's like you have your base stuff and then you have your stuff you're building. Like the stuff I'm doing behind the scenes that's in January, like, okay, these are big stuff I have to build.
Yeah.
And I don't, as I was joking around, because on Facebook stories yesterday, I had the private jet with 2 people at the stairways, and I had a couple people reach out. They're like, dude, you're gonna do it. It's not like, oh, hey, that's a great dream, blah, blah. No, it's like, no, you're going to do it. And it's not so much like when you're in the zone, guys, you could say, yeah, I am going to do it. Like I have the confidence that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, because obviously, yes, within my network, I have people that deal with private jets. So down the road, it will happen. Time wise, I really don't care, dude. I could be 50-year-old dude in private jet first time. I really don't. It's still different than being in first class. But this stuff comes so on, like the natural gifts, or the is what we would call back in church, God drops whatever, the drop on your lap. you can't even plan for them. They just, whatever occurs in the moments, the callings, whatever, you just got to grab the ball and run. And
Yeah.
a lot of behind the scenes work is what I did. So I got very quiet. Yes, I'm running my podcast, but like I'm very quiet of kind of developing what I want to develop behind the scenes. And you're going to see a lot of that publicly in the next couple of months here. So, yeah, I was going to say that's, and then we're not even talking about like my social medias and all the Facebook plugs. So like I have Battle Warriors with an S Facebook page that has give or take 120, 125 people now on it. That I think in the last couple of weeks, that momentum's been blowing up. I've had multiple people reach out, say, hey, can I invite whatever? I'm like, yeah, bring them on. As long as they fit the scale and I know some sort of story of them. I don't want like the random bots like on Instagram jumping on here and messing that up. Like, guys, it's free to go on the page, go check it out. Bring your stories up of how you went through crap and kind of develop into the thing that you are right now. There's a few rules, and you have your own rules too of everyone has on their page. So like if it's going to get overly blown with certain things, I will block it out, just because I want to make sure it's still on the same path is what we developed the group for. And then so like big Battle Warrior theme going across. So that's my brand. So like you're gonna see a lot of Battle Warrior B2B stuff, whatever it is that's gonna be tied to that Warrior stuff. So like I'm still Instagram at the Chad M. Smith, at Battle Warrior Brands, Battle Warrior Podcasts. I don't even talk about the podcast. We don't need not say we don't need to. It's just I have a truckload of stuff, guys, to talk about. So just time wise of everything. So yeah, I'm up to 70 episodes now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so excited about that because, I was one of your few guests in the beginning and I was on like twice, which was awesome. And I think that's why we have become like pretty good friends when it comes to like the podcasting and stuff, because we go back and forth on each other's stuff.
Yeah. It's I put all of us, and I'm going to say all of us put a lot of time in that stuff the last year and a half, almost 2 years. When did lockdown occur? February
2020, March 2020, March.
Okay,
April.
so yeah, 2.5 year and a half.
Yeah, can you believe it? Can you believe it? From when we first started talking in October, September of 2020 till October 21st, 2021. How crazy is this? How crazy is it?
I knew at the time in January when this came that I needed, because I actually, so March lockdown, I'd sobered up in November. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 months into it, 3 months or whatever it was. A lot of this stuff that people that kind of changed, you're seeing a lot of new faces in this industry just for the sake of lockdown is launching a lot of people at the time, the original lockdown. A lot of us came up, say, hey, we need to change our lives, and grabbed the ball and ran. And that's why you're seeing a whole push of people are going to be in these industries in the next, 2-3 years.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. And I'm just I'm grateful to have met you, and I'm grateful to be able to like have conversations with you. And it just becomes part of like, you start to know who's your go-tos, and I think that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And you're starting to notice how the time and I don't want to use the term influence in a bad way. Like how many people how many people you're starting to help.
Yes. And I don't know about you, but I've been getting like the random messages from people like, oh my God, thank you for saying that. Or I'll get like a friend request. I'm like, okay, sure. Who are you? I don't know. But then they'll send me like a really cool message. Like, I love your message. And I don't know if you've seen, but I've like started doing strongman competitions, right?
Yeah.
And which is freaking crazy. But I started meeting a lot of the ladies who are like friends with me now on Facebook, and they're just like, I didn't know you did that. Like, I didn't know you did like things. I'm like, yeah, this is a part of my gig, and it's just been really cool. I mean, now I've had practice with you, talking to you and interviewing you. And now I'm doing interviewing for my Old Ladies Lift Facebook page. And these ladies are 40 and over, and they are like badass women who are still lifting heavy, and it's awesome. And it's just like they want to get interviewed because they feel forgotten, or they feel like they're not, getting any notoriety because they're older. And I'm like, let me change that.
Yeah. I didn't even tap into the tagline that I have where it's called change culture, but I don't know, and we're going to give a little one-on-one motivational speaking gig here, guys. But before you want to change everything, you got to change yourself. So like, you got to change yourself to best, and all of a sudden it just naturally occurs that you're starting to change people, not even purposely. It just, the direction that you're going actually leads, whatever. It just, they watch you for influence, or please fill me in with the word. It's not influence, but the other one, inspiration. Thank you.
Yeah, the other eye.
The other eye. So yeah, it's not, you don't become selfish, you don't become that, you just become so focused and you just do your own thing. But yeah, no, like I am getting some of them reaching out. I think the Battle Warrior page in Facebook kind of cracked open some more doors, just for the sake, not for doors of business, not even that. I don't even, like, that's not even the case of that page. But people that I know even at work are like, hey, I have an outlet to kind of say, okay, I went through all this garbage, and yeah, you have an outlet. Oh, cool. Can I invite another friend? Absolutely. It's stuff, it just naturally builds.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Chad. We could stay on here and talk for hours and hours and hours, but we got to cut this off here. So yeah, okay, end of the year plans. What's going on end of the year until December 31st? Like, what do you got going on?
Well, besides the Speaking Summit next week, and potentially yours week after, I don't know, I send it my way, guys. We'll figure it out on that. But so we have the book's going to get sent over here. So November 1st is cut off for all the authoring stuff for the book. After that's done, I'm gonna push that off. That might be January 1st. I have no clue how fast he's gonna push that out. It's gonna be fast. It's just the exact launch date. That's behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, so January, in the next, let's do one. So like, we have the embroidery company, we have Battle Warrior Brands, which it's going to be that time frame, and then we're going to have the book coming at that time, and whatever else is dealing with speaking and all that. So like, guys, I'm carrying around a backpack of stuff that I'm going to be doing January 1st. To be 100% honest, that's the best way of answering it.
I love that. So you guys, make sure you go scroll down on the YouTube description to get all of Chad's information, because he has a lot. And if you guys should connect with Chad, ask him about anything about Battle Warrior Brands, about his upcoming supplements, et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you guys connect with him, and especially on his Facebook page. I'll put all that information in the description page, because he's giving a lot of value into the world right now, especially coming up in January. There's gonna be a lot more stuff coming out. So
yeah, and you actually have a preview of one of them that are writing in that, because I sent that over. You're like, oh yeah, we need to talk.
I didn't want to lie. I didn't want to, like, I didn't even show it to Chris. I didn't even show it to him.
No, and that's designed. And honestly, guys, that portion, and you know who it is, and the person knows I sent it to you, but like, that portion is specifically designed for strong ladies. Like, that went, like, that gift drop was like perfect. Don't even say nothing. And we're gonna cut this off here, but that person's like, how is it? I'm like, don't need to do anything. Just stop. Just where you're at with it, just leave it. We're all good.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. So this is it. This is our episode. This is mine and Chad's episode of Let's Talk Java. It was a great catch-up episode for everybody who's asking what happened to Chad. He's still alive. He's just doing
I'm still alive.
He's still doing a lot of other stuff. So, I just wanted to get him on here as a special guest and a guest host, because he's Chad. He's my Chad.
And yes, I totally forgot about my running pattern here, but I have a 10K and a 5K coming up. But after that, I'm done. So next year's the marathon.
He says that, you guys. He says he's done, and then he'll go, maybe I'll do one more.
No, I'm done. I need to fatten up here for next year.
You got to get your winter weight on.
Yeah, it's a pre-guest some or a guest of mine on the podcast that does a lot of showing and stuff. And I just said straight on, I'm like, I want to gain 15. She's like, gain 30, back off. So I'm 170 right now. We're gonna shoot for about 185 settled weight. A little bit more bulk on me. And then so that's gonna be next summer time frame. So I'm probably gonna jump up to 195-ish, 200, and then back off. I know how to okay, so we're gonna talk. I know we're done, but lifting weights, guys, you add and you cut, and it's a lot easier to cut than it is to add. So like I'm in the adding stages, actually starting now. So, but I'm still in the running stage. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
So you have what, 2 more races for then till the end of the year? 2 more races?
Yes. November 6th is the Houdini 10K. And then we have a turkey trot, which is, it sounds weird to say it this way, guys, but I've ran so many miles. So it's a 5K. It's gonna be like, whatever. And that's Thanksgiving.
20 minutes. At least 20 minutes of your time. That's it.
Yeah,
what was I going to ask you before we go? Oh, training wise, are you starting to lift heavy or what?
So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I'm okay. So chest, I'm Monday, arms. So I'm not doing anything to my legs just until I'm done running, because I cannot. I did it last week. Don't do squats and jack up your legs and try to run. It does not work. So yeah, I'm gonna be, once the races are done, I'm gonna be going heavy again. Right now I'm more of just a consistent in bench 110, 120, whatever it is, something just to kind of keep myself looking decent. But the rule of thumb is what someone told me is do it correctly the right way with light weights and then add in your weights later. So my big thing right now is maintaining the correct form and then add on. But yeah, no, I will be, there's bulk coming. So
awesome.
That means there's some heavy weights coming.
I was just wondering because I saw that you were doing these weights and I was like, I need to ask him. So
yep, no, we're back in the weight room every day, and then next year we'll be marathon training probably April, May, somewhere in there. So I'll be playing softball and marathon training at the same time.
Nice, awesome. All right, everybody, that's it. We're done. We're done because we're gonna keep talking. We're gonna talking. So make sure you like and subscribe. The Let's Talk Java show, sponsored by my brand, my company, the Strong and Mighty company right here. So make sure you guys go onto the YouTube page and like and subscribe, please, because I would love to have more subscribers and watching all these amazing stories that come on the Let's Talk Java show. So I am your host of this episode today, Laarni Mulvey, the Power Lady. And I have my returning guest on this side of me, which I did it correctly today. Yes, Chad Smith. So you guys have a wonderful day. And I will catch you guys all on the next episode of Let's Talk Java. Say bye, Chad.
See ya.
Bye.